Is going to be a little part 2 of the episode, and we are talking about wedding planners, but now we are talking about, in today's episode, day of coordinator. So on the wedding day, the day of coordinator, why every single bride, if you are the DIY bride, if you are the bride that hired a wedding planner that's full service or partial service, why every single bride needs a day of coordinator. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and discuss why you need a day of coordinator. We're going to talk about some of their duties. Just know that this episode won't be as long as the wedding planner portion. This will be much shorter because this is the day of coordinator that we are comparing to. And we're going to look at 6 key duties of a day of coordinator. So this is going to be 6 key duties of a day of coordinator. So wedding day coordinator. Number 1, manages the wedding timeline. Creates a detailed timeline for vendors, the wedding party, and key moments. Oh my goodness, you guys. So that is huge. That is huge. Most DIY brides don't realize that they need to create this specific timeline for vendors. Vendors need to have a timeline. Also, the wedding party, the bridal party, they need to have a timeline, okay? They need to know where they're supposed to be at what point of the wedding day, okay? As well as key moments. So like when certain things are happening during the ceremony or when certain things are going to be happening during the reception. If you are a content creator or you are a photographer or videographer, you want to know when they're going to have the bouquet toss. You want to know when they're going to light the candles for the ceremony. As a bridesmaid, you want to also know a lot of these key moments as well. You want to know when when you need to be doing certain duties during the wedding as well. So they're going to be creating that timeline. You guys, that's a very specific timeline, okay? You're going to ensure that everything stays on schedule. That means everything from the ceremony to the rehearsal entrance, everything. And then the end of the reception, the end of the reception as well. So you're going to make sure that everything goes according to plan. Now that you've created this timeline, the day of coordinator is also going to make sure that things get executed, okay? The next thing is that they're going to keep the couple relaxed while managing last minute adjustments. Things always happen, and so it's important that they are there to help to adjust when adjustments need to be made. And so they are going to ensure that, and then they're going to ensure that the couple is feeling great, feeling good. They don't feel stressed and like pulled in a million places. They don't feel overwhelmed. Okay. So that is very, very, very important. The second duty that they're going to have is overseeing vendor coordination. They are going to communicate with all vendors before the wedding to confirm logistics. They're also going to ensure vendor arrival on time, set up correctly, and full full contract stuff. So that means that whatever fulfillment that they had with that contract, they're going to be checking it off. Okay, let me look. They were supposed to bring 50 roses. All right, I'm checking that off. They brought them, So they were supposed to bring 100 drinking glasses. Well, they only brought 98 because they broke 2 on the way over here. I got to write that down, So it's important that the day of coordinator understands their duties as well as the bride understands what the day of coordinator is doing. That's why we're talking about this, so that they understand what they are doing, okay? They're going to troubleshoot vendor issues without involving the bride and groom. So there will probably be problems, like I said, like with the drinking glasses, that something could happen. Um, there may not be all the roses that were supposed to be there. They're not going to bother the bride, but they are going to notate it. The bride and groom need to know at the end, at some point, they need to know at the end of the wedding, okay? Because maybe there could be like a money thing here. You know, they could have forgotten something very, very big. And so they need to know. They need to know. So, but figure out how to troubleshoot it and how to fix it before you tell them, because maybe there's a way to fix it. All right. Handles wedding day setup. This is a big one. This is a huge one, okay? Handles the wedding day setup. DIY brides, you're going to have a hard time doing this. You're going to have a hard time trying to set up your own wedding yourself, okay, with your actual hands, and also getting ready for your wedding. So the day of coordinator is going to ensure the ceremony and the reception areas are decorated properly. They're also going to manage the seating arrangements. They're going to place the cards, the candles, all the table settings, all the stuff for the walls, the signage, all the good things, okay? They're also going to check the floral arrangements and the linens, and they're also going to be looking at all the rentals that they're in the proper places. So as the DIY bride, you can't do that. Like, there's no way. You're going to be in the back, you're going to be doing stuff. So you're probably have to give this to a family member. I've seen this happen. We were in a New York wedding, and when I when I tell you that bride made sure that the family knew, no, this goes here, this goes there. She left pictures. She like had one table set up and everybody was just supposed to copy that one. Like, she did all the things before she ran out to go and get ready. But what she had missed was the walls, the floors, and the chairs. None of that had decorations. And it was in a very, very bare basement at a church. And you guys know that most fellowship halls is just like a cafeteria looking place with those nasty white tables and those nasty white folding chairs. And if you don't make them look nice for the wedding day reception, that's all you're going to be getting. And that's fine if that's what you want. But people usually stop there at the table and put some form of tablecloth on it, but then they don't do anything to those folding chairs, they don't do anything to those bare walls, and they don't do anything to the floors. And so, and like I said, for the floors, you don't have to do a whole bunch. I mean, you can line them with flowers or with the candles. Like, you can do like the artificial candles if you want, and you can line them. It's up to your theme. It's whatever your theme is, but you want to be thinking about floors, okay? Just be thinking about them. So the next one is number 4. They are going to direct the wedding ceremony and the reception. They are the director, okay? It's going to be hard if you're a DIY bride trying to be the day of coordinator as well, because how are you going to direct everybody during the ceremony and the reception, okay? It's going to be impossible. Ensure that the wedding party knows where to be and when, okay? So when the procession is going to start for the ceremony, who lines up where. People could forget, even though the bridesmaids got their timeline, they could have forgotten where to go, because it is very exciting. Everyone's excited, and so they could have like forgotten where to go and where to stand. So that director, that day of coordinator, is going to ensure that, okay? They're going to be making sure to check in on everybody for that. They're also going to assist with guest management, as well as seating and the transitions. So a lot of times when I see a DIY bride, they're kind of like staring into space at this point of the transition from the ceremony to the reception. They haven't sat down and figured out timeline wise where are they supposed to be and where are their guests supposed to be. So a lot of times this is where things fall apart, and then it looks like, oh, nobody told me, nobody helped me with my wedding. That was up to you. You have to do the research. You have to do the research and understand that you're the one planning this event. It's the flow of the event. It's the flow of how things are going. And you are the flow director if you don't hire a day of coordinator. So that's what the day of coordinator is doing. Day of coordinators, you can't be a wildflower and not know what happens on the day of the wedding, and now you were sitting there like a deer in headlights over there filing your nails, not knowing what's going on. And so the guests are lost. They don't know what's happening. They're trying to get in on the formal photos when they're not supposed to be. And so everything is just going up in smoke at this point. And so that's what the day coordinator's job is ensure the transitions from the ceremony to the reception, where people go, where they're supposed to be. Are they supposed to be at the mocktail hour? Are they supposed to be at the photo booth? Are they supposed to be in interviews? Sometimes they should be in interviews. And so, yeah, they just, you just got to know, and you got to know where the couple is supposed to be at all times. At all times, okay? And then you also have to help the transition of the people who are in the bridal party that aren't the bridesmaids and groomsmen, who are like the trumpet players or the singers or the officiants and things like that. Maybe they don't know where to go next. So that's your job. That is your job. Okay. So you're also assisting with guest management. You're also herding the guests into the reception. Please go. Or having them go to mocktail hour, having them go to interviews, whatever it is, you are helping them to get there, because they'll stand around. They'll stand around as if it's their day and they're about to get their pictures taken with the formal photographer for the traditional photos. No. Bye-bye. If you did not get a text message that morning or the day before saying, hey, you're needed for the formal photos, then please don't stick around, guests. You got to keep going. You got to keep going, okay? So, all right. The next part is number 5. All right, this is the part where it gets very, very spicy. Solves last minute problems. Number 5. Remember, we're doing 6 key points for the day of coordinator. This is number 5. Solves last minute problems. Okay. So they're going to handle emergencies like dress problems. There could be a malfunction with the wedding gown. Now, I know for myself, I had my own little like sewing kit for my dress, and sadly, nobody noticed, or let's take that back. Everybody noticed that the top little like hook and eye on my dress was not together. Somehow, when the bridesmaids had zipped me up and closed it, it broke. They all knew and didn't tell me the entire day. I saw it in video and pictures later on. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, why didn't anybody fix this? I actually had a sewing kit. And not only that, I had a needle and thread already threaded and ready to go, knotted on the end and everything. All they had to do was sew me up a new loop and then put the little hook on, because I still had the hook. I just didn't have the eye. Just saying. People got to do their job. I had a day of coordinator there. This was supposed to be her job. She didn't do it. All right. The other thing is missing vendors. There could be vendors that are not there. There could be bad weather. And so this is their job to also problem solve. Okay. I had my day of coordinator. We don't want to talk about it. All right. Paid person, guys, from the venue. Just saying. Paid person from the venue wanted all this money, got all this money, and didn't even fully do their job. All right, keeps guests and family members from bringing issues to the bride and groom. So this is very important, you guys. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to problem solving. You don't want the bride and groom to have to deal with issues from family and friends and guests at the wedding. So the day of coordinator is supposed to be that person that everybody in the room knows by now. They've seen this person running around, more than likely in all black, and they know to go talk to that person about an issue. Maybe the water station is out of water. Maybe they didn't get a fork and all the forks are now been put away. Whatever it is, okay? Whatever it is, they're going to go to that day of coordinator, not to the bride and groom. And what does the day of coordinator need to be doing? Looking out, looking around the room, scoping the room, okay? Everyone looks like they're doing good. No one looks like they're lost or seems like they have a question. Be proactive, day of coordinators. Come on. People are paying you big bucks to help them out here. Okay. You need to be fast. You need to be quick on your toes with these things. All right. Quickly find solutions for unexpected situations. So there are things that could go wrong that like no one thought of, meaning someone brought a baby. Maybe that baby was not supposed to come to the wedding, who knows? And now someone brought a baby and they didn't bring any diapers. This is an example of just something very unexpected, okay? So somebody brought a baby, the baby, needs to change the pampers. We can all smell the baby. And now everyone's ignoring the smell, right? Everyone's ignoring that this baby is here and that they're ignoring the smell. Well, if there's a damn coordinator there, this is your job. This is your job. This is an unexpected issue. And so what do you need to do? You need to figure out how to get some diapers to that venue. Okay? You need to get some diapers and some wipes to that venue. Just saying. Number 6, manages the wedding exit and cleanup. This is a good one because most people don't realize that when it comes to cleanup and exiting, there's a lot to it. So let's break some of this down. Coordinates and send off activities. Example, sparklers, the sparkler exit, if you're going to have like not flowers, but like the rose petals being thrown at you, people don't do the rice that much anymore because, you already know. Also, there could be a getaway car that is there. So they're going to be focusing on those logistics and making sure that you have a good send off. Okay. They're also going to ensure gifts, decorations, and leftover flowers and food are properly collected. I want to throw in food because one of the things that you're going to find at wedding venues is that they're not going to let you take your food home with you. So you need to be really careful. You need to ask this question when you go shop for venues. We're not there yet on this wedding planning series, right? What are we doing? We're taking our time. We're learning a lot of things before we get to the actual venue shopping. That's not until later. People jump the gun and they book a venue and don't even realize that these venues are taking them for all their money, including keeping their food and eating their food after the wedding is over and eating their cake because there's so much of these things left over and they just eat it for themselves. That's not for you. That's for the couple. That's for the family. That's for the friends who all came to the wedding to support them. You are strangers. Unless they said you can have that stuff, it's not yours. It's not yours. You're robbing people. You're robbing people at that point. Okay. You're also going to make sure that, like we said, the gifts and the decorations are going to go home with them. Most of the time, this does happen, but when it comes to the flowers, what I've noticed, no. This is just me observing weddings, noticing things on my own. No. The planners keep those flowers for themselves. They divvy it out to the other vendors. That's what they do. And so it's like, should they be doing that? Should they be doing that? Once again, I don't think so. Those flowers should have went home with a family member of the bride and groom, preferably like mom or dad or a sibling, so that they can take care of the flowers while they're away on their honeymoon, and then they can get their flowers when they come back if they want them. Okay? But at least those flowers are so expensive. Flowers are thousands of dollars these days, thousands with an S. Okay? There are some people paying $2,000-$3,000 US dollars for flowers that are going to die in a week or two. And that's if you take care of them. Okay? I mean, I can take care of flowers for a whole month, but not everybody has the green thumb I have, okay? Not everybody has that, okay? So I get very, very serious when it comes to things that are going to go home with you or supposed to go home, okay? The dev coordinator verifies that all rental items are returned and vendors pack up correctly. So not all the time do vendors pack up correctly. They leave things behind. That's a dev coordinator to stay behind and check for all these things are gone and that they, didn't take off with somebody cords some cords that belong to the venue and things like that. It could happen. I'm not saying that people are doing that on purpose, but it could happen. Making sure that they take all their things as well. You don't want the vendors to leave their stuff behind and now it gets misplaced. They verify that the items that are rented are also returned. So if you rented some chairs from another venue or some tables, then they make sure that there is a time for pickup for those vendors to come and grab their things that were rental things. Okay, maybe you rented some sofas or something, and so that's up to the coordinator to coordinate what time those vendors are going to come pick it up. Because if your wedding was at 5 p.m., guess what? It's probably going to end between 10 and midnight, and those vendors are not going to want to come pick up that stuff at that time on a Saturday night, okay? So they're going to have to figure out a time when it's good for the venue for them to come get their stuff, either Sunday or Monday. Let's go over some stuff. Why every bride, including a DIY bride, needs a day of coordinator. Hold on. All right. Checklist. This allows the bride and groom to be fully present, in their wedding day. So everybody needs a day of coordinator, even if you're a DIY bride. I know you want to do it all yourself. But you need a professional this time. On this part, you need a professional. And that professional needs to really do their job. So you really, 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 really need to vet and interview this person, okay? Make sure you look at their reviews for sure. Get some referrals if you can. All right. The couple shouldn't spend their wedding day problem solving. Huge. The coordinator takes care of everything so they can enjoy their beautiful day. Oh my goodness, you guys. Next checklist. Keeps family and friends from worrying and also working on the wedding day. So by having the day of coordinator, this allows your family and friends to not be worrying and to also not be working on the day of the wedding, because they're going to want to do all the work, okay? They're going to want to help you, and it's a good thing for them to also be present and immersed in your day. Without a coordinator, brides often ask family members to help. Guests should enjoy the wedding, not handle logistics and vendor issues. I believe this to be very true, and I do think that if you're going to spend money on a type of planner, I think the day of coordinator or a 3-month out coordinator is okay to have. I do. That's my advice. I do think that one, but they got to be good. They got to be good, guys. They have to be an amazing planner. They have to know their stuff, okay? Really, really take your time in this area. And that's why we're taking our time on this wedding planning. We're not rushing. You get to ask me questions if you have them, and so on and so forth, okay? The next checklist is that they ensure smooth guest experience, okay? A smooth guest experience. Keep guests informed on seating, timing, and important events that are happening during the wedding. So that's going to be on the day of coordinator, that they're making those announcements. They're letting the guests know, all right, guys, get ready because we're going to be doing toasts soon, you know? A lot of times I will notice that you don't really hear anything from the day of coordinator. They'll have the DJ do it, but not always you even hear the DJ doing it. And it's probably because the bride and groom chose to have very little communication on the microphone from the day of coordinator or the DJ. But what ends up happening with that is that the guests don't know what's going on and when. And then the bridal party forgets a lot of things, and you want them there to witness these things or to be a part of these things. So they do need to have some leeway to go ahead and be present on the mic for you, okay? Guests need to know where to go. They are the ultimate wrangler, and it's not easy to go up to each and every person, especially when you have like 150, 300 guests, trying to get them together for the bouquet toss. Just let them get on the microphone and let people know, hey, get ready, ladies. You might want to take your shoes off because there might be some people out here trying to run to get this bouquet in about 5 minutes. Okay, we're gonna have bouquet tosses. So yeah, make sure that you have somebody that you trust and that would be really, really good on the microphone and can also command a room. I will say that. Command a room. Okay. Prevents confusion or delays that could disrupt the celebration. So this is important. This is important about the day of coordinator. They are going to be preventing confusion, like we said, where people go. Also chaos and things like that that could just delay everything. So that's why you need a person who can command a room. Next checklist protects the DIY bride's hard work. Okay, so the DIY brides out there, the DIY girlies, yay! The day of coordinator is definitely going to protect the things that you have created, all the hard work that you've put into these things. DIY brides spend months and sometimes years planning and coordinating to their entire event, okay, their entire wedding and the execution perfectly, okay? So the day of coordinator is going to protect that, all right? The bride shouldn't have to set up decorations or answer questions and all of that stuff on the wedding day, okay? So that's why it's important that we have this day of coordinator. The next one is going to be the checklist of saving money versus a full service wedding planner. Now, when it comes to the full service wedding planner, they're going to charge you a lot more. A lot more. So, what I've seen in the cost is that if you see a full service wedding planner for about 4 or 5 thousand, you can usually get a day of coordinator for about 500 to 1,000 to come out and do all the things that we talked about for the day of. Okay, so it's good that you understand that this can save you money if you go this route. Say, like, if you were a do-it-yourself girly and you did everything, you already have all of your vendors set up, you already did it all, and you just need somebody on the day of because there's no way you're going to be able to do it. There's no way you're going to be able to set up. There's no way you're going to be able to answer vendor questions and delays. There's no way you're going to be able to answer your phone if the vendor calls and they have a flat tire. Okay, you need a day of coordinator that they have all the vendors' phone numbers so that they can handle that stuff. They can decorate. They can answer any kind of issues from the guest. Okay, so that's why it's important that you're going to take the time. You're going to take the time and have a day of coordinator to help you out, okay? And that you're not trying to get all your family members to do it. Last little bit of this checklist that the day of coordinator provides all this amazingness, okay? This professionalism and this amazingness is that they're going to prevent wedding day stress, okay? This is just such a huge one. Brides should enjoy their day, not worry about all the problems that they're having, all the issues that everybody else is going through, the logistics of so many things. The coordinator takes charge as the bride can focus on other things like celebrating and being celebrated. Okay, so it's important for the day of coordinator to understand their role in all of that. All right. Why do some wedding venues require you to have a day of coordinator? I'm sure it's because of all the things that we've talked about. They don't want to have to deal with the bride that's running around with her head cut off and doesn't know what she's doing, okay, on the day of. That she doesn't realize that she can't be getting ready as well as setting up, okay? They don't want to deal with that. So if you are insisting on not having a day of coordinator, they're probably just not even going to take you on and let you book their venue at all. And like I told you guys before, they're probably not even going to have you on if you are not going to have a planner at all. Okay, a full service planner or a partial planner. If you tell them that you're a do-it-yourself bride, they may not even let you book their venue. So this is something that you need to ask in the beginning when you are venue shopping, okay? When you go wedding venue shopping. So, you guys, something very important is coming up. And that is going to be our venue wedding story. I can't wait to share it. I cannot wait to share it. I will be sharing our venue wedding story, and it is a doozy. It is a doozy for sure. A lot happened. A lot of things could have been better, and a lot of money was spent. And as a person who plans events, who executes events, who staffs events, I was not impressed. The professionalism was like subpar. So that is coming, and I hope that you guys will enjoy that video for sure. People love getting to hear story time, so I hope that you'll enjoy it. What went into the budget binder today? Nothing. Nothing was bought today, you guys. There's nothing going into the budget binder. That's the segment of our show where we talk about who pays for this and what goes in there and how much was it. We're not putting anything in the budget binder. All we did today was discuss and learn so that you could be prepared when you go out to these venues and go shopping for one, okay? And why they're going to tell you you're going to need a wedding planner or a day of coordinator, if not both, okay? And why they may not take you on if you're a DIY bride. Be my guest. Be my guest here on your wedding series. We are looking for guests right now to be on your wedding series podcast show. And I want you to share your wedding story. I want you to share how wedding planning is either going, or if you are planning your wedding yourself. If you're doing it yourself, I definitely want to hear from you. If you have ran into this at venues where they're like, we're not taking you on, you're doing your own wedding, you can't book here. I want to hear what they told you as to the why and how you reacted to it. How did you handle this this reaction from them of you want to book, but then they're like, no, we can't have you here because you don't want our wedding planner or you don't want our day of coordinator. So absolutely not. Okay. I want to hear about how that went for you. And the way you can get a hold of me is just by sending me an email, and you and I can chat about it. We can talk about it. We can set up a video call. And if you want, I will share it here on the platform. Now, I don't have to share it here on the platform. You can decide you just want to talk about it with me. You don't have anybody to talk about your wedding stuff with, and you just want to talk about it with me. No problem. We can hang out, we can chat, we can talk it through, and you can just get a lot of stuff off of your chest and your shoulders, okay? But if you want to share your story with others, you want other people to hear and to learn something from your story, or just enjoy a good story, right? People just want to enjoy a good story. Then we will record that video and I will put it on the platform so that it can be shared with others, okay? The way you get a hold of me is at yourcontentcreator@yahoo.com. You just send me an email. And guess what, lovebirds? That's the end of our episode.
Lights, camera, action, baby, strike a pose. Phones and cameras out, just watch it all unfold. We're the stars of the show, ain't no need for filters. Living life through the lens, capturing our breath. Put away your phones and cameras, let the good times roll. Our content creators got it all under control. From weddings to events, parties, travel and brands, we're living the paparazzi life. It's all in our hands. Lights, camera, action, we're ready to go. We're professionals, don't you already know? From TikTok to Instagram.